Hi there. There's been lots of talk about transformation or the lack thereof at Stellenbosch University lately. I want to use this opportunity to update you. Let me start by saying that Stellenbosch University is not the racist institution that we've been made out to be by some. That is not our policy, and we've also been working very hard to become more inclusive and welcoming to all in practice. But as much as it saddens me to say this, some of our students and staff members have had a different experience. This is clear from a number of incidents and also the luister or listen video on social media. I found it painful viewing because I don't want any of my students to suffer. And I'm not going to defend the indefensible. Discrimination, marginalization, these things are wrong, whether consciously or subconsciously. I'm sorry it happened, whether on campus or in town, and we have to fix things. We have taken action against racism, but what is being raised by Open Stellenbosch and others go beyond individual acts. It speaks to structural issues, our institutional culture, whether everyone feels they belong here, that it is also their place. We certainly want Marties to be a welcoming home to all. There was a time in the past when this university, along with others in our country, served a particular section of the population only. But that is long gone. We've moved from being a whites-only Afrikaans university to being a non-racial, multilingual national asset, proudly serving the whole of society. Already in the year 2000, the university formally acknowledged its contribution to the injustices of the past. Make no mistake, that was an apology for apartheid, often repeated by me and my predecessors. At the same time, the university also committed itself to redress and development, which laid the foundation for the pursuit of greater equity and service to society as a whole. In 1990, a mere 5% of our student body was black, colored, and Indian. Today, it's 38%, and we are aiming for a minimum of 50% by 2020. So, we have made progress, even though much remains to be done. We consider diversity an absolute requirement for excellence because it exposes us to a variety of people and ideas, which broadens the mind and enriches us. Also, in terms of language, there has been movement. In November 2014, Council placed English on an equal footing with Afrikaans as a medium of instruction for the first time. This was done for two reasons: so that neither language functions as a barrier to access, and so that both languages are used as instruments for success. South Africa's Bill of Rights states that everyone has the right to receive education in the official language or languages of their choice in public educational institutions. One qualification is that it should not go against access, equity, or redress. Another is that it should be reasonably practicable. The Minister of Higher Education and Training recently confirmed the validity of this framework, and we consider multilingualism an asset in today's global knowledge society. We are in the process of implementing the language policy adopted by Council 9 months ago. And at this early stage, we acknowledge that there are practical problems, especially with bilingual classes and the use of simultaneous interpretation. A task team is investigating, and we will report back to Council and those who have submitted complaints and proposals in due course. But neither of our two languages of instruction is being forced on anyone, although again, I am not invalidating the experience of those who feel differently. We have reached a crucial moment in the history of Stellenbosch University. There seems to be a gap between our sincere intentions and the reality experienced by some. This calls for deep introspection, earnest dialogue, and a concerted effort to make Stellenbosch the truly inclusive, innovative, and future-focused university we want it to be. I've been promoting an open discussion since the start of my tenure 5 months ago. Meaningful dialogue requires mutual respect and a willingness to change. I remain committed to this, and we have issued an invitation to open Stellenbosch afresh to engage in talks with management. The past week has seen two significant developments. We had fruitful discussions with Parliament's Portfolio Committee on Higher Education and Training, and a peaceful, though spirited demonstration took place on our Stellenbosch campus by protesting students and staff members. We welcome robust discussion because universities are places of critical thinking and freedom of expression. However, that does not mean everything goes. Earlier this year, a lecture and a career fair were disrupted and an administration building briefly occupied. This was unacceptable, and disciplinary action will be taken in terms of codes of conduct applicable to all. But no one is being victimized, and I am certainly not silencing protest. What we must avoid at all cost is the danger of polarization, which poses serious problems for any democracy. As each side increasingly demonizes the other, compromise becomes more difficult. We must reach out to each other in the search for common ground instead of retreating into us and them camps. I also have a responsibility to protect this institution, its property, and all its people against threats of violence. This is in line with a call by the Minister on all higher education institutions in the light of destructive behavior by protesters on some campuses. Let me be clear, we should not be surprised by the restlessness in higher education nationwide this year. South Africa is still in transition, and the firstborn frees have arrived on campuses, old enough to think for themselves and see the problems around them, and young enough to want to do something about it. So we should not be surprised, but neither should we be alarmed. There's no problem with activism, as long as it does not degenerate into violence and destruction. What I do find tremendously reassuring and inspiring is the conversations that are happening despite the current tensions. Or maybe it is because of the troubles that Māoris are stepping forward and doing their bit. I want to thank alumni, partners, and friends of the university for their messages of support. Not blind, uncritical support, but the kind of support that is based on a shared fondness of this university and its potential. Both Council and Senate have publicly declared their commitment to transformation. The annual elections in student leadership have now been concluded, and a lot of work is being done to prepare all students and structures to help guide the honest discussion that we need at this university. There is a wealth of work that has already been done for several years to make the process of Stellenbosch becoming more diverse and integrated a positive one. The Listen, Live and Learn initiative in student housing is a good example, an approach that is not restricted to a few units but permeates the whole of the system. Significant steps are being taken to reinvigorate the process of change at Stellenbosch University. Transformation has been included in the restructured portfolio of Professor Nico Koopman, one of our vice-rectors, and a transformation office is being established, as well as a broader transformation committee to help guide the process. Also, to ensure that our journey of transformation is based on sound research, we will be establishing 2 chairs for transformation, reconciliation, and justice. We have also allocated 70 million rand to diversify our staff body, especially at senior academic level. This is a big challenge. Though we are not the only university in this position, there is a serious shortage of senior black academics nationwide, which we are helping to address with our large output of master's and doctoral graduates from the designated groups. Our journey of transformation is incomplete and imperfect, but we remain steadfast in our determination to go forward, because that's the only way of creating a community of social justice and equal opportunities for all, as our mission statement says. We are committed to creating inclusive and diverse experiences for all our students and staff members to unleash their full potential. Yes, we are at the moment facing challenges in the life of this university, but many more exciting opportunities, and we must go forward, as I have no doubt we will, by fixing what is wrong and celebrating what is right, together. That is the collective duty of us all. Let us all assume 100% responsibility for creating the Stellenbosch University we want.